Hello dear viewer, and welcome back to 2012. I think you still called it 2012 back then, and it was an interesting time in your life because, first of all, you hadn't heard there were going to be mechanical spiders in Watchdogs, and second of all, you hadn't heard the words Watchdogs next to your new trailer footage quite as much as you have as of today. This is, of course, the initial reveal of the game, a tremendously pretty reveal at that, and yeah, the question is, how does it compare to what we see today on launch? To answer that question, we've got some footage from the PlayStation 4 version of the game, which we've been playing over the last week. And yeah, seeing them side by side, straight away, significant differences. I'm not saying the PlayStation version is ugly, but it's not as nice as that initial reveal. The lighting, despite being roughly the same time of day, the sun's just setting, it's just before nightfall, isn't as nice. And some of the detailing on the textures has been cut back. Which is unfortunate. So yeah, I'm going to show certain parts of this mission side by side just to give you an idea of how significant those changes have been, and you can make your mind up on what you think of the PlayStation 4 in comparison. Yes, when I'm not being spotted by civilians and having to run away and hide behind cars, that is. So interestingly, the mission that they showed off in that demo, sneaking past security, talking to your friend, identifying the guy that works for DeMarco, I believe his name was, that mission doesn't exist in the final version of the game. All those characters play a part, but this mission has been altered or completely taken out by the sounds of it, which I'm not really sure what the reasoning for that was, but interesting nonetheless. Mechanically, most of these things still work in the same fashion. You can still pull out your phone and see the dirtiest, darkest secrets of the people around you, their age, their income, their name. You still listen to conversations to continue missions. A lot of this stuff works in exactly the same way. It's just this mission has been removed. So yeah, the differences really here are visual. And talking of which, Watch Dogs looks by far the best when it's dark and raining. Even in the PlayStation 4 version, which hasn't quite got the same puddling on the pavement there, or the same reflection off the water, but still looks really, really nice. And yes, of course, the most important moment of that demo was the hacking of the traffic lights to cause a car crash to stop DeMarco as he heads towards you. Now, unfortunately, DeMarco isn't heading towards me in the PlayStation 4 version when I was playing, so I've had to just recreate this using whatever traffic was nearby. So, it's a matter of holding square to change the traffic lights, and the crash, not quite as dramatic as in that original version. Not quite as dramatic at all. So we'll try that again. And I did get spotted by another civilian in between these two attempts. You'll be glad to hear. Once again, still not really the best crash, and I feel like that driver could have avoided that entire incident. He sped up, if anything. And yes, after that, the traffic light collision, there's this cool slow-mo gunfight and some lovely muzzle flash on the pistol there, which also doesn't quite carry over to the PlayStation 4 version. You also notice the petrol station isn't on fire yet. Now I'm trying to go slow-mo and do the one-handed shot just as they did in the demo, and in doing so I think I just set the petrol station on fire. But if you pay attention to that muzzle flash, not quite as cool. Yes, so you can see that I've set the petrol station aflame quite by accident there. How does the explosion compare? Wait for it. This is going to be big. I can feel it. Oh, no, there we are. The explosion was still to come, but still not quite as dramatic as we saw there. Yes, I feel like the petrol station explosion in Goat Simulator was slightly above that. But there we are. Yes, slow motion gunshots. Mechanically still looks to work in a very similar fashion. I had to shoot some civilians and bring the police after me to try and recreate this. And I learned two things from working this video. One, the PlayStation 4 version has had some cutbacks. Two, I'm not very good at making sexy trailers, and that's probably not going to be a good career path to pursue in the future. Despite me thinking that would look very cool, I actually just stumbled over the police car only to die. But there we are. That's just something I'm going to have to get over, along with the fact that Watchdogs on the PlayStation 4 doesn't quite look as next-gen as we hoped it would 2 years ago. But is it a good video game? Well, to answer that, we did also do a review impressions video that went live this morning, and you can click anywhere on here if you're on YouTube to check that out. Steve, who has played through the entirety of the game, talks on about Watch Dogs for a good 45 minutes. So, I mean, there's a lot there if you are desperate for more Watch Dogs. Thank you very much, and we'll be back with more stuff throughout the week. Goodbye.
Always believe! Now that's powerful. Subscribe.